Hello everyone. Welcome to Turkish series stars. All the details are in our video, and before we begin, remember to subscribe and share to stay close to every update. Thank you for being here with us. The conversation across the industry has been focused on a painful, deeply personal chapter for Ebru Şahin. Those who admire her dazzling performances, her disciplined work ethic, and her calm, grounded energy have been sending quiet prayers for weeks as whispers about her mother's health grew louder. The subject surged across social media, not because of any spectacle, but because of the way Ebru carries herself, open-hearted with her audience, resilient on set, yet undeniably human when the lights go dark and family becomes her only priority. Sources close to the family confirm what many feared. The illness remains an ongoing battle. Treatments continue both in the hospital and at home, managed meticulously under the supervision of her doctors. Though there have been days of hopeful news and gentle relief, the reality is that the process is slow, demanding, and emotionally exhausting. Those around Ebru say that even in the heaviest moments, she breathes deep, steadies herself, and steps forward. She shows up to care for her mother with the same focus she once reserved for stages and scripts, and then, when she has a second to lean on the world, she reaches out to her followers, asking not for sympathy, but for good energy, prayers, and patience. If you've watched her recent posts, you've likely felt it. The soft bravery in her words, the way she acknowledges her fear without letting it set the tone, the way she thanks everyone for messages while reminding them to protect their own peace. On some nights, she shares a short note about gratitude. On others, she says nothing, just a photograph of a hand holding another hand, the kind of image that doesn't require a caption because the weight of love fills in the blanks. In those moments, her fans don't just like and scroll. They stay, they comment, they create a wall of steady light for her to lean against. Those closest to the situation say Ebru is adjusting her calendar, choosing what matters, letting go of what can wait, and drawing a firmer boundary between public life and private time. She is not vanishing from her career. On the contrary, people in the industry describe her as astonishingly determined, willing to reshape her commitments so she can be wherever her mother needs her, yet refusing to let fear define her path. Producers have noticed her clarity. Colleagues have seen how she arrives prepared, then leaves early when she can, knowing a hospital room or a quiet apartment awaits her. These are not the actions of someone stepping away, they are the choices of someone stepping carefully, gently, but with relentless purpose. The fans recognize it, too. They greet every new update with a mix of concern and admiration. Comments like "We are here for you," "Ebru, you're not alone," and "We're praying for your mother" line her posts by the thousands. People who have faced similar battles offer their own stories, writing about chemotherapy chairs and late-night fears and the way families become both stronger and more fragile all at once. The message is always the same: love holds. And in the middle of all this, one presence stands out with quiet certainty: Akin Akinosu. If you follow them, you know that he has never chased the cameras for the sake of it. Over the past months, that hasn't changed. He's been there in the background, lending a steady hand. Those who have seen them together say it's the simplest gestures that speak the loudest. The way he opens the car door during late-night hospital visits, the way he keeps her coat or brings her tea, the way he shields her from flashes when a moment is too raw to share. There have been times when both were spotted slipping into the clinic after midnight, faces tired, shoulders squared, moving like two people who know exactly what matters and what doesn't. Insiders whisper that Akin adjusted his own schedule to mirror hers. Meetings were moved, rehearsals shuffled, quiet dinner plans replaced by long hours in waiting rooms. He's not there to take the spotlight, he's there to be a pillar. And that, according to those who know him, is exactly who he is at his core: compassionate, deliberate, protective without being controlling, always honoring the space Ebru needs to carry her responsibilities as a daughter. Their bond, already admired by the public, has taken on an even deeper hue through this trial, anchored less by grand declarations and more by simple constancy. As for the medical side, reports suggest that treatment is ongoing and comprehensive. Some days, care happens at home, giving everyone the comfort of familiar walls and the rhythm of daily life. Other days require hospital visits, tests, and the sometimes crushing wait for results. Doctors are monitoring closely. No one is making reckless promises or dramatic statements. The message has remained consistent and grounded. The fight continues, and each step is taken with diligence. In the meantime, Ebru is bringing the same disciplined focus to caregiving that made her such a force on set. Friends say she reads everything given to her by the medical team, asks every question twice, and keeps meticulous notes to ensure nothing falls through the cracks. Naturally, her professional plans have shifted. She's said to be careful in discussions with producers, choosing projects with flexible schedules, communicating clearly about what she can give and what she needs in return. It's not about chasing the biggest headlines or the brightest lights right now. It's about aligning her work with her life, not the other way around. The industry, to its credit, seems to understand. No one can deny her impact or doubt her dedication. Casting directors and collaborators alike are offering patience and support, knowing that talent like hers is not diminished by personal storms. If anything, this period has deepened her well. Those who've spent time with Ebru in recent weeks describe a woman who moves through her days with tenderness and intention. When she laughs, it's softer, but not rare. She makes meals with her family when she can, allowing the simple rituals of home to become guardrails. She has stopped posting certain locations in real time to give her mother privacy. Where once she may have shared behind-the-scenes moments from set, now she shares a flower her mother likes, or a piece of music that calms the room, small but potent reminders that healing is often made of quiet acts. In the gossip circles, the talk has remained surprisingly respectful. Everyone knows how fiercely private she can be when the subject turns to those she loves most. The rumors that do appear tend to revolve around her choices as a professional in this season, what roles she might delay, which offers she might accept based on schedule, how she and Akin are coordinating to keep life moving without neglecting care. And while there are inevitably some voices pushing for more, asking for angles and revelations, the tone from supporters is firm. Let her speak when she's ready, and until then, just send light. What sets this story apart is not just the gravity of the illness, but the way it has revealed the architecture of their relationship. Ebru has always been strong. Now we see that her strength comes, in part, from allowing herself to be supported. Akin, unfailingly present, doesn't announce his devotion, he lives it. He offers the kind of steadiness that makes it safe to be vulnerable. Those who have seen them together during the hardest nights say they communicate in glances more than words, a shorthand formed over years of trust. When one falters, the other is there. When one needs quiet, the other keeps the world at bay. As for the fans, their commitment has been remarkable. Some organized virtual prayer hours. Others sent letters, real, handwritten notes, carefully forwarded through management so as not to intrude. Many simply leave messages on each post. We are by your side, your mother is in our prayers, take all the time you need. These aren't empty gestures. In a time where everything moves at the speed of a swipe, to pause and hold a family in your thoughts is meaningful. And Ebru notices. She has said as much in her gentle updates, how every message feels like a hand on her shoulder, how every prayer is accepted with gratitude. Experts consulted by the press emphasize what anyone who has cared for a sick parent knows too well. Family support is not just comforting, it can shape the entire process. Being present matters. Maintaining routines matters. Allowing yourself to ask for help matters. Those who see Ebru in the hospital corridors say she is absorbing every bit of guidance, pushing away any impulse to appear perfect, and embracing the truth that being strong is not about never breaking, it's about learning how to bend. Information from her team suggests that more formal updates may be shared when appropriate, but no one is hurrying her. She is focused on the day in front of her. If there is a statement, it will come in her words, in her time, when doing so feels right. Until then, the unspoken agreement between Ebru, Akin, and those who care about them is clear: let love do its work in private, and let the public conversation be rooted in respect. And yet, even with the careful boundaries, small moments slip through. A photo of a book left open on a bedside table. A candle on a quiet evening. A tiny bouquet from a fan, placed in a vase near a window. These details tell a bigger story. Life continues in the in-between, between treatments, between results, between appointments, through gestures that remind everyone of what they're fighting for. Professionally, there's a consensus that Ebru's resolve is striking. She is not turning her back on her craft. Instead, she's honoring it in a new way, one that acknowledges the fullness of who she is. Producers appreciate her honesty. Co-stars admire the way she arrives early for a scene, then moves swiftly to the next responsibility. Friends note that she has become even more selective about how she spends her hours, guarding her energy so she can give it where it's needed most. As the days unfold, the entertainment world continues to watch, not with the frenzy of scandal, but with the intimacy that comes from seeing someone you admire walk through a difficult valley. The latest from those close to the situation indicates that the condition remains delicate and requires close monitoring. No sudden turns have been announced, and still, every morning brings its own anxieties and its own hopes. The feeling among many is that this chapter, however long it lasts, will leave all of them, mother, daughter, partner, friends, changed in ways that will be felt long after the last appointment is made. It is impossible to ignore how much this experience has sharpened the contours of their love story. Fame may have given them visibility, it did not give them depth. They built that themselves. And in the face of uncertainty, they continue to build. Choosing each other, choosing family, choosing to believe that the work of caring is a kind of artistry all its own. For now, we wait alongside them. We listen closely when a new note appears on Ebru's feed. We cheer for every small victory and respect the silence when there is nothing to say. We remember, as she has reminded us, that compassion is not a headline, it's a practice. And we hold space for the hope that, in time, this long night will give way to a gentler morning. Thank you for watching and for keeping your hearts open. If you want to stay updated on everything related to this story and more, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish Series Stars and share this video so others can add their voices to the chorus of support. We'll bring you any respectful, verified updates as they come. Until then, let love lead the way.